Hello, my name is Andreas Kaufmann. I'm the chairman of Leica Camera here in Wetzlar. And we're here together with our Korean friends. So hello, last time I've been in Seoul was 2019. In between it was a bit tricky to travel. We hope to be there again in 2024. So, and until then, enjoy taking pictures.
Nowadays, 100% people are photographers with smartphones.
Absolutely, yeah. So when I'm in a, let's say 100 people in the room and say, is there anyone without a smartphone? Everyone has one, yes. So everyone is a photographer.
So many camera brands, even Korean brand Samsung was forced to make a camera, but they gave up because they cannot win with camera to smartphones. So many people believe that camera will die because of smartphone, but Leica.
There's a very easy reason why a smartphone never can reach a camera. It's the laws of physics. Yeah. Try to capture light in an environment like this, yeah, and put then a full frame sensor into it. So the highest we do in Japan with Sharp, we do the lights phone. It's a 1-inch sensor. It was very tricky to do. It has this height. That's about it. So you can reach certain things with a smartphone, but due to the form factor, you're limited, which means you need a huge amount of software to correct certain things. And when you start correcting too much in software, you have other problems. So first, we never had this idea, the smartphone is not a camera. We started looking to this since 2006. Since 2006, and the iPhone wasn't there. But we didn't find the right partner for that because it's quite simple. A smartphone is the entry-level camera.
So you believe that phone is not a camera killer, just the enter door to the camera?
The entry door, that's how we see it, yeah? It's the entry door because everybody's a photographer without knowing it, because usually people say, oh, my food, Instagram. Yeah? Or my dog, oh, he's so cute. Facebook. If they're older, usually they use Facebook. If they're younger, use Instagram. If they're really young, you use TikTok.
Which camera do you use when you take a picture of the food?
I usually don't take picture of food because taking picture of food is not that easy. So a Q with a macro function.
Yes.
That can be the right camera for that, but then you have to know what a macro function can do and cannot do.
Yes. Q2 is for me only for taking a picture of food.
No.
When I go to fancy restaurant, I choose Q.
The Q is a perfect travel camera, yeah, because when you want to take pictures of as a remembrance, or for instance, if you travel lightly to go to Venice, yeah, which is a great place, yeah, a Q is a good solution. Only for food, no.
Koreans are realistic.
Yeah, I know.
So they believe that the luxury thing has a bubble. It's overrated. For example, cars. German cars are good at high speed and very sleek design.
Yeah, but Germany has only a small amount of luxury cars. Because what's a luxury car? It's mainly a Porsche. Yeah. And even not the smaller one. It's probably the 911. Yeah. So is there a bubble in 911? I don't think so. Yeah.
Yes.
They only produce 25,000 or so a year. I don't consider this a bubble. So it's always a question, how do you define luxury? The French at Hermès, they have a word for this. They call it mastige, mass prestige.
Yes.
Luxury is something high-end, complicated, not easy to do, sometimes complicated to understand. So I don't think there's a bubble. There's a bubble for what you might call mastige. Yeah.
I was one of the guy who believes that Leica is a bubble. 10 years ago, I took a picture, the first picture with the Leica M. I was just fall in love with it. When I recognized the Leica is fantastic, so my wish was I want to get one.
See, that's the same as in car, you know. When you come up to a certain range and you might earn a little bit of money, you might love to have a Porsche and not a Hyundai. great cars, by the way.
Yeah.
Or you might have to want a Maserati. Yeah?
Yes.
And there are not many around. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's. I think that's typical. Yeah. And
So-
the M, by the way, is a totally different way how to take pictures. And in the end, you know, I always proposed, but we didn't do it. We should do an advertising. You know, I know how to focus. Because at the end, it's complicated.
So that I can get M because it's
Okay.
very expensive. But now, 10 years later, I have 5 M's
Okay.
and 3 SLs.
Suddenly you're well off.
So-
Okay. Yeah. In that case, are you married?
Yes.
Then in that case, you need always the address of a good jeweler. If you buy another gear,
Yes.
maybe you should bring something home. So beware.
Yeah. That was my strategy.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, I went to Japan with my family.
Yeah.
In the trip, I took a picture of my wife with the SL. Then she confirmed me that that's my camera. You have to took my picture with only that camera.
Yeah, because creating a beautiful portrait. The portrait mode in a smartphone is a defined way. Yeah, I would always say don't shoot in the portrait mode, use in the simple mode. But still, due, as I said, to the laws of physics and the way how you do optics, and at the end how you interpret colors. Yeah, and then what the Japanese call bokeh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the key thing about the bokeh, it creates a sort of more of a 3D picture.
Yes.
And that's why it looks more natural. So there's maybe a simple explanation for your wife.
So that picture is with bokeh.
Yeah.
So I can feel the mood of that time.
Yeah.
It's kind of a time zeitmesse.
Sometimes, because most of us are usually amateurs in taking pictures, but sometimes we have this chance that one picture we say, that's the picture of the month. And with a certain gear, I think you can create this. With the smartphone, it's always about a snapshot. Nothing wrong with a snapshot. But it's a short glimpse of a moment without much element in creating.
Can you advise for the people who about to Leica? People who want Leica but not yet they cannot open their wallet.
Oh, there's an easy solution, second-hand market. So, for instance, if you say Q3, high price, you still could buy the first Q, refurbished. It's a third of the price, takes great pictures. Yeah. So, the same. If you say I can't buy an M11, buy an M10. Well, you have to look into how many actuations, etc. But that's a different thing. So it's a question of servicing. But the best entry-level camera into Leica is a second-hand Leica. With the lenses, it's a bit more tricky because the lenses tend to stay in a certain price range. So then maybe. So for instance, at a certain time we did a 2.450 or a 2.435. Well, they're not cheap, but they were more on the cheaper side and still great lenses. And nowadays, second-hand, you can get them for, the price would be more right for someone who has a little bit of a, issue regarding the wallet.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, my name is Daniel Blonschi. I'm in the watch industry since about 30 years. I'm managing director of Ernst Leitwerkstätten. I think Korea is a fantastic market, not just in cosmetics, but in many things, what is developing there. And I have a very educated customer. And we believe very strongly that the Korean customer understands our brand.
Hi, I'm Marcus. I'm Marcus Eilinger. I'm the watch designer here in Leica. And I was working in this industry for more than 25 years, having designed many watches for famous brands like IWC, like Senate, Montblanc, and latest also for Tudor. So what I can present today is the new collection of Leica watches with our brand new design, with our brand new identity, and it's just be a high pleasure to have you here in Wetzlar, and all the greetings back to Asia.
Is there a difference with the ZM1, ZM2 customer and the brand new watch?
You know, the ZM1 and ZM2 was first of all addressed to Leica customer, or even Leica collectors,
Yes,
even
yes.
Leica VIPs. Now with the new collection, the ZM11, we want to open a bit. We are still very Leica. I'll let Marcus explain after, but we are still very Leica, but we go a bit more into the watch.
Yes.
We open up a bit and it's more looking like a watch while being very Leica. So that's the difference on the customer.
When we started the whole development, we had a clear, let's say, mood board in mind. So we set the target groups on these different corners of the mood board, and we realized that it's a segment of clients that are more like brand affine. So they really like to discover something new. They like to discover a brand with its essence, a brand with its philosophy. They like to talk about the brand. And while here people are pretty in watchmaking also, because there's a lot of innovation, technical innovation in it, entirely done in Germany. So there absolutely we have a difference. And also price-wise, since this is all done in Germany with our own movement done from scratch, and we are different in price actually. So this is actually strategic to segment the people a bit.
We call it also minimalist, visionary customer. You know, that is looking for clear line, understatement, but still modern. So not a reduced, not a classic Bauhaus, reduced but modern.
In Korea, there's a watch boom now. Everybody wants. I think it's a beginning. So people want to get not a watch, just a brand. They want to get some famous brand on his wrist. So later they trained and have an experience and buy and sell several watches. Then later they can find their taste. So this watch is very good to show his own taste.
Yeah, you say perfectly, because that's exactly this. It's an item for early adapters, somebody who want to show, I know the market, I have something special, I screen the market, I know what is interesting, and that's the way to showcase the knowledge of the market.
When I use my Leica camera, I was been in Lamborghini lounge, so I brought my SL reporter. Then one photographer came to me and say hi. He recognized me. I saw you 10 years ago. Actually, we met 10 years ago at the Porsche lounge. He remembered Asian people who using Leica. In that at that time, I was using M.
Okay.
My camera changed, but he recognized me.
This is fantastic.
So I think this watch can work like that. Wear a Leica watch, then people knows he's a Leica photographer?
It's a belief, a statement of a culture, of a philosophy, as I mentioned before. Philosophy of how you deal with products. If you use a Leica camera, then you use it very carefully, of course, but you use it for a long period. You keep it. It's not just something that you replace easily. The same thing we will do with watches as well. It should be something that lasts for long. It's not just a one shot, not that we have several, let's say, like fashion that change every year. We want to stay for long. It's also, this is why we have these shapes which are, let's say, rather fundamental elements. We have very clear lines, well proportioned. It's not highly organic, so it's rather geometrical shapes, nicely carved, almost like architecture.
Yes.
And this is why we have in Leica this culture to produce timeless and modern products. So you see it on the camera, which is also straight lines. We do the same thing here on the product, like a watch.
And this is purely mechanical. It's not a printing technique in that sense, the way we do it. And here you have the same. This one we call coffee black. So here the reflection is different, but it changes. It's more golden, more brown, or it's also quite black, depending the light, depending the angle.
Depending the light, depending the angle, it sounds like camera.
That's what we want to do. That was exactly the work we tried to do. So how can we bring photography onto the watch? And like Marcus earlier said, the idea was not to make a watch look like a camera, but bring photography on it to get that feeling. Then it's perfect.
Here especially, you see this reflection we have here. Even it's nicely brushed all over. In the middle we have polished little surfaces, they sparkle through the links.
In the middle there's polish.
Here in the middle it's polished.
That's why it shines.
That's why it sparkles,
Limited edition watch. Colors matching with my jacket. I like this very much. When I see watch, the bracelet is very important. Many watchmakers, they're famous and heritage, history, but there's many times I cannot satisfy with the quality of a bracelet. It's something sharp, and when I touched it, it feels not so good, something like that. But it's very well made, and the sparkling color is very nice.
Thank you.
So the making watches, the craftsmanship is helped by Leica's. They already produce the precise, so it works with watch too.
You're still right, because the understanding for the fine mechanics, the understanding, the mindset for the precision, this helped. How to change the strap, that's the same like on the camera.
Yes.
Exactly same. A little bit smaller, but otherwise exactly the same.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly, because you press and then you take the lens off. I mean, you have it here, no, not on the M. You press, bayonet, take it off, lock it again, same system.
I recognize that many people believe that smartphone will kill the camera. The smartphone could not kill the Leica. It's just an entering door.
Absolutely.
Starting to taking a photo with the smartphone and goes to Leica. And the Apple Watch is the most selling watch in the world now. They believe that Apple Watch kills the Switzerland, the automatic watch, but people who start the watch life with the Apple Watch started to finding unique watch like this one.
No, but you're perfectly right. I mean, the Swiss watch industry, when we look the export figures, what is going out of Switzerland, is steadily growing. There was the Corona, but the Corona is already far away and it's again higher. It's steadily growing. The only part that lost is the quartz went a bit down. But even now it's stabilizing. It's something else. And exactly, you wear a smartwatch and you may discover the watch, and the camera was the same. Phone hasn't killed the camera, the mechanical camera, and the smartwatch doesn't kill the high-end.
Almost the other way around, with the possibility to capture an image, to capture a moment. You realize that you can do even better pictures with a better camera, and the same thing happens to with smartwatches. So you really feel like with this piece on my wrist, I can represent my identity. I can. It's a statement. So eventually, you want to change a bit your statement, and you discover watches. So this is absolutely there. You're right.
So entering to the watch life with a smartwatch, then later Swiss watch, and next German watch. Right?
It can
German
be.
watch is gold. 라이카가 시계를 만든다고 했을 때 왜 시계냐라는 말을 하는 사람들은 많이 있었고, 제가 지난번에 설명했을 때도 뭔가 이의를 표하시는 분들이 많이 계셨어요. 그리고 그건 아마 라이카도 예상했을 거예요. 하지만 제가 시계로 시간을 기록한다 라는 말씀을 드린 적이 있는데, 저도 아이가 태어난 시간을 기억합니다. 그 시간을 어떻게 기억하냐면, 하늘에 노을이 끼던 그 저녁 시간도 기억하지만 시계에서 기록돼 있던 시침과 분침의 위치를 저는 기억하고 있어요. 그건 시간을 기록하는 좋은 방법이라고 생각하고요. 그리고 라이카라는 회사가 잘 만드는 카메라는 빛을 이용해서 시간을 기록하죠. 그런데 그 빛을 기록한다는 거, 빛이라는 것도 시간과 관련이 있는 이야기인 것처럼 그런 철학적으로도 카메라와 시계는 통하고 있다고 생각해요. 그리고 기계적으로도 뭔가를 정교하게 만드는 것, 정교하게 만들어서 사람들을 만족시키는 것은 라이카가 100년 전부터 잘해왔던 일이기도 합니다. 그리고 또 한 가지, 라이카 카메라는 라이카 카메라로 사진을 찍는 목적만 있는 건 아니에요. 라이카 카메라를 어깨에 걸고 있다는 것, 그리고 라이카 카메라를 들고 있다는 것은 자신의 라이프 스타일을 증명하는 어떤 도구의 역할도 합니다. 그리고 시계는 남자의 손목 위에서 자기가 어떤 라이프 스타일을 추구하는지를 증명하는 것이라고 제가 여러 번 말씀드렸죠. 그런 의미에서 여러 가지 공통점이 있고, 라이카 시계는 라이카 카메라가 그렇듯이 아주 적은 수일진 모르겠지만 꽤나 열광적인 사람들에게 사랑받으면서 앞으로도 더 커질 거라고 생각합니다. 스마트폰이 카메라를 죽일 거라고 했을 때 그 스마트폰으로 시작된 사진에 대한 열정을 라이카가 다 모아서 새로운 라이카 열광자들을 만들고 있는 것처럼, 시계는 스마트워치든 혹은 다른 시계든 다른 시계로 시계 생활을 시작한 사람들이 아마도 라이카 시계에 관심을 꽤나 가질 거라고 저는 예측해요. 저도 지금 시계들을 직접 만져보면서 언젠가는 라이카 시계 가져야겠다 라는 결심을 했는데, 아마도 그런 분들은 많이 계실 거라고 생각합니다. 그리고 나는 라이카 시계 별로야, 나는 라이카 시계 관심 없어 라고 해도 상관없습니다. 라이카도 상관 안 해.
Congratulations again. Thank you so
exactly
much.
what to do to blow my mind. You're from another planet. I've never felt like this. I don't know how I ever survived without it. I'm starry-eyed. Got me upside down, spinning around you. Wanna taste the clouds, dance with the moon.
Congratulations.
Outer space, just keep painting constellations. You cover me in glitter till I'm shining bright. I never wanna leave the sky. The way you made me feel alive. I was in the dark and baby you're the light. You're from another planet. I've never felt like this. I don't know how I ever survived without it. I'm starry-eyed. Got me upside down, spinning around you.
So this is the new, it's not a camera, it's an instrument. Okay.
자, COP 행사 끝났습니다. COP 행사는 1년에 한 번 모여서 라이카를 사랑하는 사람들이 함께 모이는 축제예요. 그런데 카메라라는 게 참 다양한 방법으로 즐길 수 있다는 생각을 하게 되네요. 어떤 사람들은 그저 기계가 좋아서 라이카랑 카메라를 들고 자기가 뭐 시간을 보내는 게 좋은 사람도 있을 거고요. 그리고 사실은 바라만 봐도 좋은 사람도 있을 거예요. 그리고 여기 모인 사람들은 그 다양한 사람들 속에서 창의력을 가진 사람들, 전 세계의 창의력을 가진 작가들을 축하하는 자리로서 또 의미를 갖고 있고요. 그리고 또 여기 모인 사람들은 1년에 한 번 모여서 얼굴 보면서 라이카를 사랑하는 사람들끼리 모여서 뭐 어떤 시간을 보내는 그런 의미도 있겠죠. 라이츠파크는 라이카를 사랑하는 사람들은 성지와도 같은 곳입니다. 뭐 역사를 볼 수도 있고 미래를 볼 수도 있고 과거를 볼 수도 있고 그리고 사진으로 표현할 수 있는 다양한 예술 작품들을 즐길 수도 있고요. 라이카를 좋아하는 저로서는 이곳 독일 베칠라에서 아주 꿈같은 시간을 보냈는데 여러분들도 대리만족이 되셨으면 좋겠네요.
Hello, my name is Jesko von Oenhausen. I'm responsible for the photo business at Leica Camera. I work for Leica since more than 20 years. And yeah, in my product management team, we take care of successful products.
There's so many cameras, but I always talking about Leica. So Canon, Sony, people believes that I have a contract with Leica.
Which is not the case.
Yeah, I was a Canon user before. You know, I'm an editor-in-chief of Lifestyle magazine, so I always work with the photographers. Usually they used to use Canon before, about 10, 15 years ago. Then they changed it to Sony. But I always using the Leica for my personal. When I started use the Leica, the professional photographers told me that that's a rich man's toy, something like that. Not for professionals, it's too expensive. But that person now using older Leicas.
So now they are convinced.
Yeah. So I have a question. When I use Leica, it feels like some even mood in the photograph. I can feel.
Yes.
What is the secret of that?
The secret is, I wouldn't call it a secret, but what you get from a Leica is the Leica look, which is very famous and many customers, or all customers that are really enthusiastic about the camera, talk about a certain Leica look. I think that's what you explain, what you experience. And we are asked very often what is the secret behind the Leica look. And you cannot complain it technically in a few sentences. A mixture of optical quality and optical engineering and also imaging in the digital world. So we take a lot of care to preserve that Leica look, to have a natural contrast and natural rendering with a high sharpness. Yeah, a match between what we do in the digital camera combined with the optical design. So it's very important that everything comes from one hand and that the optical engineers talk to the electronic software engineers that do the imaging. So we are quite successful in preserving a natural look. Really does not look digital, for example, and still having the highest micro contrast and everything. So a lot of the secret is, of course, in the optical design, but that's very different from lens to lens.
I went to the optical lens production line. Most of the time they using their hands.
Yes.
Like analog.
Yes.
Then the Leica lens is very expensive. Sometimes it goes 10 times expensive than the other maker's lens. What is the difference with that?
I cannot comment on all the technologies that other manufacturers are using, but yes, you're right. We have a lot of handcraft, even in the optics, that comes out of the tradition of Leica as an optical manufacturer. And yeah, that is based on a long-term experience of our workers and a lot of craftsmanship in there. And yeah, you were referring to the price, and that's of course related to the tight tolerances we have. So even our manufacturing people, they put a lot of passion in what they are achieving every day when they produce one lens and testing it and reworking it. And so yeah, it's a long process to get all lenses made in the right quality and tolerances. that are needed for the optical quality that we want to achieve in the final product.
In the beginning of the 20th century, the photography history started. That there was a Leica.
Yes.
Then in the middle of the 20th century, the situation was changing. Very cheap and very simple cameras coming out. So many people bought the other cameras. It feels like the quartz crisis in the watch market.
Quartz,
Watch with batteries came out. So
Yes.
all the Switzerland watchmakers almost died.
Yeah.
I think it's quite similar with the Leica.
Yes.
And the analog watches now it's a explosion
Right.
in the world.
Yeah.
The Leica is quite same. Many photographers using Leica now, not 20, 30 years ago. Now, what was the turning point of the reborn of Leica?
I would say the turning point of the rebirth of Leica was when M was turning digital again. Before there were so many technologies coming up, and the competition was quite tough, right? But I think Leica made the right decision to keep the M system in the lineup because it was the system that has the closest or the clearest tradition and soul and DNA, and the customers never forgot this because the Leica was always fascinating. The M camera was always something special because it's a very compact and high quality system, and the rangefinder photography itself is a legendary style of photography. And with the occurrence of digital cameras, even more functions were occurring in the market, and with the M system we were referring to the core of M, the essential functionality, which then provoked some kind of a fascination for a crafted tool, fascination for high craft materials. On the same time, having a digital camera that is not so overloaded with new functionality, that you really can refer on what is essential in photography. That showed made the turnaround for Leica.
Few more questions from the readers.
Okay.
That's the real questions.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a plan to put in the video function to the Leica M?
No, we are not planning to do that. We did it for the M Type 240, but that was the time where the M was the only professional digital solution that we had. So we were seeing video to become a very important function also for our customers. That's why we have put it in. But once we invented the SL system, we were very happy that we can sharpen the profile of the camera systems more clearly. So with the SL you have a very good video camera, and with the M you have a very good photography camera. It's essential for Leica to concentrate on the purpose that it's made for, and M is made for photography. And that's what our customers really appreciate, that we do this consequently.
Do you have a plan to make a lens case for iPhone?
I cannot comment on those future products. Right now we concentrate on co-engineering for phone cameras with Xiaomi now. Yes, right.
When comes out SL3?
I can tell you, it's after the SL2.
Yes.
And
in the SL3, is there a swivel screen, LCD?
Well, it's a strict company rule that we do not comment on future products, so I really cannot comment on that.
이런 질문은 대답이 안 나올 걸 알고 있기 때문에 원래 하면 안 되는 질문이에요. 기자들 중에도 이런 질문 하는 사람들이 있는데 이거는 나올 수 없는 질문이니까 참고하시라고. 다음에 혹시 질문할 일이 있을 때 제가 알면서도 이분한테 여쭤봤어요. 근데 뭐 당연히 대답 못한다는 대답이 돌아오겠죠. We got 3 SLs for the making film. The black one, the first SL for me. The second one was the reporter. You know, my job is
You could
reporter.
not stand it, yes, sure.
Then the silver came out.
Yeah.
The silver is beautiful.
It's really beautiful on the SL, isn't it?
Please don't make pink. I don't want forest.
I thought because you're wearing pink, it would be also a good match for today.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.